Welcome to Rosslyn Hill Unitarian Chapel, a spiritual home for open minds. I'm Sally Somerville, chapel elder and your worship assistant for this Unitarian service, the first in-person service of the year. Each week we say, whoever you are and wherever you are on life's journey, there is a place for you here in our spiritual community. And this is really true, whoever you are. So in words borrowed from Reverend Andy Phillips, whatever your race, gender, sexuality, class, age, and physical and mental capacity, in the spirit of love, we say again that you are most welcome. Bright Lights is our children's chapel and creche for children aged 2 and above. Babies under 2 are welcome in the creche, but need to be accompanied by an adult. The children will leave after our membership ceremony. Okay, it's not today, it's another day. If you're watching at home, please join the virtual side aisle at midday. The Zoom link was in the weekly email, and you can find it via the link in the YouTube description. And to those of you in the chapel, do join us for tea and coffee in the real side aisle after the service, where we might be able to say hello to our friends on Zoom as well. At 6 p.m. this evening, we will have mindfulness, meditation, and at 7 p.m., our Sunday evening gathering is Soul Fuel Sunday. Our monthly gathering features acoustic music, poetry and storytelling, with singer-songwriters Russell Swallow and Tom Cameron, as well as spoken word performers. In a change to our printed notices, the morning service next week will be led by Reverend Claire MacDonald, former minister at Lewisham Unitarians and the new ministry tutor at Harris Manchester College, Oxford. She will be speaking on the common threads of different religious traditions. You can find information about these and all our activities on our website. If you prefer a paper copy, pick up our December-January Open Mind newsletter available from the steward's table. Regarding the collection, we now make a cash collection during the offertory, and if you prefer to donate by card, our steward will pass along the rows during the postlude music at the end of the service. You can simply tap to donate £5 or tap more than once if you wish. This month's good cause, excellent one, is National Energy Action. It's a registered charity working to end fuel poverty in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. It predicts that even with the fuel price cap freeze and government support, 6.7 million households will be unable to afford to live in a warm, safe, and dry home. Supporting NEA enables them to continue their advice, campaigning advocacy, research, and training, taking action for warm homes.
So many gods, so many creeds, so many paths that wind and wind, but just the act of being kind is all a hurting world really needs. Welcome and good morning from me. I'm Rev Kate Dean. I'm proud to serve as the minister for this spiritual community, and Happy New Year to all of you. We begin our service today by lighting the chalice flame, the symbol of our liberal religious faith, which we Unitarians celebrate as the freedom to choose and question and explore our personal beliefs. Our chalice is lit with words by Amy Mackenzie Quinn. Welcome to this common, sacred place. Common because we are all welcome. Sacred because here we transform the ordinary and attend to the profound. We carry with us our regrets, doubts, fears, stories, laughter. May they inspire our worship. Above all, may we each meet what we most need to find on this day in this common, sacred place. Now we come together as a spiritual community and we like to get to know one another. So now I invite you to turn to someone near you, to say your name and welcome them to chapel this morning. Thank you, everyone. That music signals our time of greeting has come to a close, but please do continue your conversations over tea and coffee in our side aisle after the service. Oh, and while I remember, one extra notice that we forgot to include is that we will have a discussion after this service. It's called Soul Circle, and everyone is welcome. Grab your cup of tea and join us at the back of the chapel. And we'll be discussing themes that come up in the service, but also our monthly theme of finding our centre and any other questions that you might have about Unitarianism. It's a very informal discussion for about 45 minutes. So that will begin at 12:15, so almost directly after the service. But for now, let's sing our first hymn. It's in your purple hymn book, hymn number 33. Nice jolly one to kick us off. Enter, rejoice, and come in. And as is our custom, please listen for the full introduction and then rise as you're able to sing hymn number 33, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Seated. I think it's great to hear the organ sounding like a fairground ride. I might ask for a bit more of that kind of music in the future. Now we have a time for all ages, but I think those young people who are here, you can stay in your places, except for Lilibet. She's going to help me show a little picture to you all. Make sure this is working. So I'm going to ask them some questions. So, hopefully you can hear me. Oh no, try that. There we go. So, those of you who are here for Christmas services, I want to ask you a question. Do you notice anything different around the chapel today? What do you notice today? No Christmas tree, no Christmas decorations. Why might that be?
It's not Christmas anymore.
Exactly, Lilibet, it's not Christmas anymore. Because Friday was 12th night, some people call it Epiphany, and in the Christmas story, that's when the wise men came and they brought gifts for the baby Jesus. And traditionally, that's when we pack away all of our Christmas decorations. But do you know what? My friends, Roberto and Claudia, told me about an Italian tradition. And at this point, Lilibet's going to show you a little picture of La Befana, and it's a very small picture, so you'll have to rush around and show everyone. It's a picture of a lady, and she's wearing a pointed hat, and she's riding on a broomstick. La Befana. Wonder, because she looks quite familiar to me. I wonder if anyone who's seen the picture, what does she look like for us, do you think? She looks like a witch, doesn't she? But in Italy, La Befana brings gifts, and she brings them on the eve of Epiphany to all of the good little children. She brings cherries or sweets, and she drops them in their stockings on the eve of Epiphany. For the not-so-good little children, and I know there are some, she brings lumps of coal and she drops those in. So she's got this pointy hat. Thank you so much. You can take a seat if you want. Sit down. She's got this pointy hat, and she's carrying a sack of toys and gifts and cherries, basically. But what's interesting is she sounds, the sorts of things that she does sounds a bit like the sorts of things that Father Christmas or Santa Claus might do. Come and bring some gifts, and actually in my household bringing coal was a thing growing up as well. So that's similar, but Father Christmas quite often leaves footprints, like sooty footprints from when he went down the chimney. And La Befana, she's covered in soot as well because she also comes down the chimney. But do you know what she does? She takes her broom and she clears up the mess. That's what she does. So apparently, before she leaves, she tidies up your house. And what she's doing is she's sweeping away the past. She's sweeping away the Christmas decorations. And she's sweeping away the past year, making it ready for the new year. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And hopefully we'll think about La Befana as we move on. So now we're going to sing the children out to their Bright Lights activities and creche. Hope you enjoy yourself. Thank you very much, Lilibet, for helping with that. The words are in your order of service. Come now to our offertory collection. So this is the time when we'll pass the basket if you have cash that you would like to donate. And just to remind you, the card reader will circulate during the postlude at the end of the service. And this month, it's a new month and therefore a new good cause. And as you heard, we'll be dividing our collection plate between the upkeep of this beautiful chapel and our good cause, National Energy Action. The collection will now be taken. Thank you for the many ways that you contribute to our spiritual community through your time, your talent, and your treasure. Now I invite you into a time of prayer and meditation. We come together each Sunday with hearts full of joys and full of concerns. If you are holding someone in your heart this morning, I invite you to say their name aloud in the coming moments of stillness, so that we may also hold them in our prayers. Spirit of life and love, God of our hearts, we give thanks for those who bring us joy, and we pray for the safekeeping of those whom we hold in concern. For all those names, spoken and unspoken, may they be surrounded by the loving kindness that we offer them today. Blessed be, and amen. Our reading this morning is from the Jewish and Christian traditions, the book of Isaiah, but you will hear that it is from a modern translation called the Message version. Sally.
This is what God says. The God who builds a road right through the ocean, who carves a path through pounding waves, the God who summons his horses and chariots and armies. They lie down and then can't get up. They're snuffed out like so many candles. Forget about what's happened. Don't keep going over old history. Be alert, be present. I'm about to do something brand new. It's bursting out. Don't you see it? There it is. I'm making a road through the desert, rivers in the Badlands. Wild animals will say thank you, the coyotes and the buzzards, because I provided water in the desert, rivers through the sun-baked earth, drinking water for the people I chose, the people I made especially for myself, a people custom-made to praise me.
Those words from Isaiah. And now let us sing again from the purple hymnal. It's hymn number 87, Leave Behind Your Bags and Baggage. Please be seated. And so today we are focusing on releasing the past and moving on. I love that reading from Isaiah. Although my personal concept of the divine is a little different, I love the idea of someone appearing and saying, forget about what's happened. Don't keep going over old history. Be alert, be present. I'm about to do something brand new. Wouldn't that be exciting? God is saying, put all that behind you. Put your faith in me. There is so much to worry about these days. Wouldn't it be great to find a safe harbor, a port in the storm? If not the warrior guardian of the Hebrew Bible, someone, somewhere, perhaps, for the soul to find shelter, a place of rest and renewal. And if you don't find this safe harbor in the God of the Old Testament, it is time to seek it elsewhere. We Unitarians are free to do that, to find the divine wherever it speaks to us. So seek it elsewhere. Seek it in the eyes of your loved ones, in the conversations with your fellow Unitarians. Seek it when you're walking on the heath and you take comfort in the constancy of the same grove of trees you might see each day. January is named for Janus, the god who in ancient Roman belief was able to look back and look forward to the past and the future. Janus was the god of beginnings and transitions. And so it seems a good time to do that. We can take what we need from the past, saying thanks for giving me those experiences. I hope I've learned what I need to from them, and then letting them go and moving on. Why is it, I wonder, that it is so hard to release the past? Sometimes we hold on to old grudges or regrets about decisions, or we hold on to old behavior. We say, I wish I had done it that way, or I wish I'd said this instead. But that sort of thinking soon becomes a barrier to how we want to live our lives here and now. Yes, there are things we would want to hold on to, which can help us in the year ahead. But now is the time to release those things that no longer serve us, so that we can live our best lives, as the phrase goes. Maybe we need La Befana's broom to sweep away those things in the past and make room for new delights. We know that we are facing a tough year ahead. And if it doesn't feel tough for you, chances are you have friends or loved ones who are struggling. We also know that we are not alone in this endeavor called living life. I believe that one of the greatest strengths of the human spirit is our innate willingness to help others. It seems somehow built into our DNA if we stop to check. Sometimes it's buried. Our ego makes us focus on ourselves in the wrong way. But it makes sense, I think, when we think about the harsh conditions that our ancient ancestors needed to survive. It makes sense that helping each other was the only way to stay alive. So I encourage you to seek ways to be kind to someone else. And don't be afraid to ask for help for yourself. The chances are that you will find someone that would find helping you brings its own rewards. Part of releasing the past may involve finding ways to forgive someone else or to forgive yourself. Letting go of anger through forgiveness can free us from that unnecessary stress so that we can achieve a more peaceful state of mind. In the Buddhist tradition, the teaching is that much suffering is caused by lack of forgiveness because you are unable to free yourself from the hate that you hold. According to the Dhammapada, those who attempt to conquer hatred by hatred are like warriors who take weapons to overcome others who bear arms. This does not end hatred, but only gives it room to grow. Now, we all have unfinished business, things that we will be taking with us into this new year. And there will be many things that didn't turn out quite as we had hoped or expected in the past year. Bless me with an unquiet spirit, writes Kelly Weissman. Grant me dreams so great and numerous that I may spend the fullness of my days to realize them and have ample remaining to leave to my inheritors. For me, this seems to be a good attitude to take into this new year. We need to release the past so that we can have dreams great and numerous in the coming year. So let us put our faith in the wisdom of the divine in whichever way we find it, in the hope that that which is beyond us and that which surrounds us with love will grant our unquiet spirits some cause to celebrate life in the coming year. Blessed be. I now invite you into a guided meditation to help us prepare for our ritual. So if you'd like, sit comfortably, perhaps with your feet on the ground, your connection to the earth. Try not to have anything in your hands. You could maybe clasp your hands in your lap or put them on your thighs, palms up or palms down, whatever's most comfortable for you. We're going to begin with a few calm, deep breaths in and out, and you may want to close your eyes at this point, or at least to soften your gaze. Just focusing on the gentle breath coming in and out of your body. Noticing the cool air as you breathe in, how it is warmed by your body, and the warm air as you breathe out. Into this calm, not quite perfect stillness, I offer some questions and some time for you to reflect on each one. What have you learned from your experiences in the past year? Who do you need to say thank you to? Is there someone you need to ask for forgiveness? Or is there someone that you need to ask to forgive? What more can we ask of ourselves as we step into this fresh new year? What might we commit to in order to make our living on this earth more sustainable? What small act of kindness to ourselves might make all the difference in the coming weeks and months? We can continue to take time to reflect or to light a candle during our music for reflection. Let us now take part in a simple ritual for the new year to release the past so that we can move on in a more hopeful way. In your order of service, you should have a piece of cream card and a piece of blue paper, and you'll need a pen. So if you don't have a pen, can you raise your hand, and then Roger, our steward, I can see 3, 4 hands, he can hand out some pens to you. I've got an extra pen here if anyone needs one. Oh, it doesn't work. Forget that pen. Yes. Does anyone else need a pen? Gail has one. Oh, right, okay. So, like the Roman god Janus, let us gaze back and on the past year, the joys and the sorrows. And first, I'd like you to think of all of the good things from the past year, what you were most proud of, what your gains and accomplishments were, perhaps some special blessings in 2022. And consider those things that you're most grateful for. And so on your piece of cream card, I invite you to write the word gratitude and then write down anything that comes to you. Or you can just use this time to reflect if you don't want to write something. So those things that you're most grateful for in the past year. Now you're going to keep that piece of card so you can continue to write on it later if you haven't finished. But let's now turn to our blue piece of paper. We will come to this opening of 2023 also with some regrets, events from the past year that we would like to forget, to put behind us, disappointments, perhaps opportunities that were missed, losses or failures, or unwelcome burdens, things we want to let go of. So on your piece of blue paper, I'd like you to write release the past, and then write down any things that come up for you in the next minute or so of stillness. Releasing the past now on your blue piece of paper. just finishing off your writing now. We can imagine this blue piece of paper turning into water flowing away. And so in a moment, I'm going to ask you to tear your piece of blue paper into tiny pieces, because I have a teeny tiny cauldron. Perhaps it's La Befana's cauldron, and I'm going to ask you to sprinkle your paper into the cauldron. So now I want to hear lots of tearing sounds, and when you're ready, come forward and sprinkle your paper to release the past into our cauldron. Our cauldron is sealed. You have released the past. I hope you still have your piece of cream paper, because the words on that sheet are things I hope you will cherish in your heart. Think of a good place to keep this card, in a diary perhaps, or a favorite book, or even just a secret place that you can return to whenever you need to renew your hope through the coming year. But for now, let's sing our final hymn. The words are in your order of service. Be thou my vision. in this new year, let us be open to the wonder of creation. May we search for new life and hope in our midst. May we nurture creativity in every form. And may we be reminded that new insights from the universe are always being made. Blessed be and amen. Please be seated. And a reminder, our contactless collection will now be made during the postlude. Thank you to John for pulling out all the stops, and thank you to our volunteers that make this Sunday morning so special. Please do join us for tea and coffee in the side aisle, and don't forget the chalice circle discussion at the back of the chapel in about 10 or 15 minutes. Thank you, everyone.